Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Munmun Bhattacharya. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi en route to Kuwait on a two-day visit. The first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Kuwait in 43 years. US Senate 2 passes government funding bill, averts shutdown. Bill awaits President Biden's assent. US drops $10 million reward on Syria's new leader Ahmad al-Shara. In Damascus talks, rebels promise fighting terrorism. Amidst call to step down, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau shakes up his cabinet, replaces those unwilling to fight the next election. And the first World Meditation Day being observed under the theme Inner Peace, Global Harmony. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is en route to Kuwait. The visit is set to further boost historic ties between the two countries and strengthen cultural trade and people-to-people connect between India and Kuwait. During his visit, PM Modi will hold talks with the top Kuwaiti leadership, visit an Indian labour camp, address the Indian community and attend the opening ceremony of the Gulf Cup football tournament. Embarking on the Kuwait visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his departure statement said, and I quote, "We deeply value the historical connection with Kuwait that has been nurtured over generations. We are not just strong trade and energy partners, but also have shared interest in peace, security, stability and prosperity in the West Asia region. Looking forward to my meetings with His Highness the Amir, the Crown Prince and the Prime Minister of Kuwait. It would be an opportunity to chalk out a roadmap for a futuristic partnership for the benefit of our people and the region. Eagerly look forward to meeting the Indian diaspora in Kuwait who have immensely contributed to strengthening of bonds of friendship between the two nations. I express my gratitude to the leadership of Kuwait for the special gesture of inviting me to the inauguration ceremony of the Arabian Gulf Cup, a premier sporting event in the Gulf region. I look forward to being a part of this celebration of athletic excellence and regional unity. I am confident that this visit will further strengthen and reinforce the special ties and bonds of friendship between the people of India and Kuwait." In response to a request made on social media platform X, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi responded that he is looking forward to meeting Mangal Sen Handa, 101-year-old ex-Indian Foreign Service officer in Kuwait during his interaction with the Indian diaspora during the course of his Kuwait visit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's two-day historic Kuwait visit comes at the invitation of the Amir of Kuwait. PM Modi's visit is going to be the first one by an Indian Prime Minister in 43 years and is set to boost ties between the two nations.
Modi, 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 Modi hai to mumkin hai.
Excitement brewing among the Indian diaspora in Kuwait ahead of the historic two-day visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Indian diaspora, which forms the largest expat community in Kuwait, is over 1 million strong, forming a living bridge between India and Kuwait. The members of the Indian diaspora claim the visit by Prime Minister Modi will strengthen the community and boost relations between the two nations.
The excitement is so much that my phone doesn't stop ringing. Everybody wants to come to the stadium to see him. Everybody is looking forward to it. Everyone wants to see him. He is a charisma of it. He has a charisma that I think I have not seen in anybody.
We have some great plans for welcoming him in our own way, and the whole community is working together, united. You've seen all our colleagues here. We worked very hard for the last few days to make sure the welcome is equal and if not better than many more welcomes in the Gulf.
India and Kuwait share a historic and dynamic relationship that spans decades, rooted in shared history, robust trade, vibrant cultural connections, and mutual support during challenging times. In recent years, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, the trade between the two nations has reached new heights. Kuwait is among India's top trading partners. Bilateral trade is valued at $10.47 billion for financial year 2023-24. Indian exports to Kuwait have reached $2 billion for the first time. Investments by Kuwait in India exceed $10 billion. Kuwait is India's sixth largest crude oil supplier and fourth largest LPG supplier.
I would say that the visit is coming after a gap of almost 4 decades. It is also the first high-level visit between both sides in 1 decade. It is also the first visit of Prime Minister Modi to Kuwait, and this is the only country which he has not visited in the Gulf region. So it carries a lot of symbolism.
The visit by Prime Minister Modi will involve several high-level engagements, with the Prime Minister engaging with the Indian diaspora as well, strengthening the historical ties between the two nations.
The wait of over 4 decades for the Indian community to welcome their Prime Minister is soon coming to an end, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi all set to arrive in Kuwait. This historic visit by Prime Minister is not only going to cement the relationships between the two countries, but also take it to new, unprecedented levels. In Kuwait City, with camera person Rajesh Ricky and PK, Akshay Dongre, DD India.
The 72nd plenary of the Northeastern Council Secretariat, chaired by India's Home Minister Amit Shah, is underway in Tripura's Agartala. Development of Northeastern Region Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, along with governors, chief ministers and senior administrative officials of all the northeastern states, are attending the day-long NEC meeting. The NEC was established in 1971 and its remarkable achievements over the decades are continuing. Over 11,500 kilometers of roads to boosting power generation, to construction, to airport infrastructure. These are some of the achievements. Well, the case against Indian National Congress leader Rahul Gandhi in connection with a scuffle at the Parliament premises in New Delhi was handed over to the crime branch. The FIR was lodged in Parliament Street Police Station after Hemang Joshi, BJP MP from Vadodara, filed a complaint on Thursday accusing the Congress leader of physical assault and incitement during the scuffle in which 2 BJP MPs, Pratap Chandra Sarangi and Mukesh Rajput, were injured. The injured lawmakers were undergoing treatment at a hospital and are now on the path to recovery. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman chaired the 55th GST Council meeting in Rajasthan's Jaisalmer. The meeting focusing on key issues related to goods and services tax. Chief Ministers of Goa, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir, Meghalaya and Odisha, Deputy Chief Ministers of Arunachal Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Telangana and Finance Ministers of several states and union territories took part in the meeting. Earlier on Friday, the Finance Minister held pre-budget consultations in Jaisalmer with Finance Ministers of states and union territories ahead of financial year 2025-26 union budget. It's time now to take a look at some other stories making news. The death toll in the tanker truck collision on Bhankrota Ajmer Road in Jaipur on Saturday rose to 14. The Friday accident, which resulted in a massive fire, involved a truck loaded with chemicals colliding with a tanker carrying LPG and other vehicles. The Mazgon Docks Shipbuilders Limited created history by delivering 2 indigenously built modern capital warships, Nilgiri and Surat, to the Indian Navy. Nilgiri is the first stealth frigate of Project 17A class ship, while Surat is the 4th stealth destroyer of Project 15B class guided missile destroyer. The warships will now undergo sea trials. Christmas fervour is gripping Shimla and Coimbatore. Shimla embraced the Christmas spirit with churches beautifully adorned, carol singing filling the air, and festive gatherings, creating a joyous atmosphere. Meanwhile, in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, the fervour was palpable as locals thronged churches for midnight mass. Vibrant decorations lit up the streets, and community feasts brought people together to celebrate the festival with zeal. Taking a break from the hectic pace of life, people across the globe are celebrating World Meditation Day under the theme Inner Peace, Global Harmony. December 21st marks the first ever World Meditation Day, a global initiative promoting mindfulness, mental health and inner peace. Meditation practitioners and enthusiasts worldwide are gearing up to observe this day with various activities. Permanent Mission of India to the United Nations in New York organized meditation for global peace and harmony. Ambassador P. Harish, in his welcome address, underscored the importance of the ancient Indian practice of dhyan as an instrument for personal fulfillment and inner peace, rooted in the civilizational dictum of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, which is the world is one family. Indian guru and spiritual leader Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, who also gave a special meditation session during the event to more than 600 enthusiastic participants, highlighted the multiple benefits and dimensions associated with meditation in his keynote address. India co-sponsored a UN General Assembly draft resolution on the 6th of December that was unanimously adopted to proclaim 21st of December as World Meditation Day. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz to visit attack site where 2 were killed and several injured at Magdeburg Christmas market. Malaysia to resume search for missing MH370 plane. Longest night and shortest day of the year, winter solstice 2024 is here.
In light of recent developments, can we expect something different with regard to China-India relations, and is there hope for some kind of stability between these two giants of Asia?
I think we should be prepared that China will always seek in this period ahead to contain India. It seeks to contain India in South Asia, for instance. It seeks to contain India when we speak of expansion of the permanent membership of the Security Council. It has never been a supporter. It has sought to contain India on various fronts, so it obviously sees India as a rival.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. The US Senate has voted to pass a short-term funding bill to avert government shutdown only hours after the House of Representatives approved the same legislation. The budget deal was passed shortly after midnight. The bill now goes to President Joe Biden to be passed and, in fact, signed into law. Earlier, the US House of Representatives voted on Friday night to pass new legislation that would keep the government funded temporarily. This was the third attempt this week to get the deal through the US House of Representatives after a Trump-backed funding measure failed on Thursday. The legislation would extend government funding until 14th of March, provide $100 billion for disaster-hit states and $10 billion for farmers. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and other politicians will visit on Saturday the site of a car ramming that targeted visitors to a Christmas fair in an old market city. Police arrested a 50-year-old Saudi medical doctor at the site of the assault, in which 2 people were killed and 68 were injured when an SUV plowed through the festive crowd in Magdeburg on Friday night. So far, police were uncertain whether the attack may have been Islamist-inspired or linked to psychological problems. The attack came almost 8 years to the day after Germany suffered its deadliest ever jihadist attack when a Tunisian man drove a truck through a Berlin Christmas market, killing 13 people. World leaders expressed condolences over the attack and particularly for the victims who've died. Taking to the social media post on X, the President of the European Council said that he was appalled by the horrific news from Magdeburg, adding that the EU stands in solidarity with Germany, while French President wrote on X that he was profoundly shocked by the attack. The United States has removed the long-standing $10 million bounty on the de facto leader of Syria, Ahmed al-Shara, following a high-level U.S. delegation meeting with the leader in Damascus. The U.S. delegation arrived in the capital Damascus after HTS overthrew the Bashar al-Assad regime less than a fortnight ago. The visit is the first formal American diplomatic appearance in Damascus in more than a decade. Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs Barbara Leaf, one of the three U.S. officials who sat down with Ahmed al-Shara in Damascus, described the policy decision as one aligned with the need to work on critical issues such as combating terrorism. Sources say Washington is scrapping a long-standing reward for the arrest of Syria's new leader following positive messages from a first meeting that included a promise to fight terrorism. A U.S. State Department spokesperson confirmed that the diplomats discussed transition principles supported by the U.S., regional events, and the need to fight against the Islamic State. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Friday shook up his cabinet, changing one-third of his team as political turmoil threatens his leadership. In Friday's reset, 8 new ministers were appointed to replace those in the 35-member cabinet who have signalled they will not seek re-election and to relieve others of their double or triple duties in government. 4 current ministers were given new responsibilities. The reshuffle came at the end of a chaotic week in Ottawa, spurred by the surprise resignation of Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, who clashed with her boss over Trump's threats to impose sweeping tariffs on Canadian imports. Her exit after nearly a decade at Trudeau's side marked the first open dissent against the Prime Minister from within his cabinet and has emboldened critics. New Democratic Party leader Jagmeet Singh, who has been helping Trudeau being in office, said he would present a formal motion of no confidence after the House of Commons elected chamber returns from a winter break on the 27th of January. If all the opposition parties back the motion, Trudeau will be out of office after more than 9 years as Prime Minister, and an election will take place. U.S. President Joe Biden on Friday approved $571.3 million in defense assistance for Taiwan as the Democrat prepares to leave office ahead of January inauguration of Donald Trump. The White House briefly stated President Biden had authorized the Secretary of State to oversee the withdrawal of up to $571.3 million in defense equipment, services and military education and training from the Department of Defense to support Taiwan. The new military assistance package follows a similar $567 million package authorized less than 3 months ago. Meanwhile, U.S. State Department has also approved the potential sale of about $265 million of command, control, communications and computer modernization equipment to Taiwan on Friday. Additionally, it has approved the sale of over $5 billion in arms to Egypt, along with the sale of Aerosonde, uncrewed aircraft systems and armored security vehicles to Greece for $130 million. Malaysia has agreed to resume the search for the wreckage of missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 more than 10 years after it disappeared in one of the world's greatest aviation mysteries. Flight MH370, a Boeing 777 carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew, vanished en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing on the 8th of March 2014. MH370's last transmission was about 40 minutes after it took off from Kuala Lumpur for Beijing. The pilots signed off as the plane entered Vietnamese airspace over the Gulf of Thailand, and soon after its transponder was turned off. Military radar showed the plane left its flight path to fly back over northern Malaysia, then out into the Andaman Sea before turning south, and then all contact was lost. Debris, some confirmed and some believed to be from the aircraft, has since washed up along the coast of Africa and on islands in the Indian Ocean. Sports news now. In women's cricket, India is set to clash with Bangladesh in the final of the inaugural U19 Women's Asia Cup on Sunday. The women in blue, led by Nikki Prasad, defeated Sri Lanka by 4 wickets. In the Super 4 match, India chased down the target in just 14.5 overs. Batting first, Sri Lanka scored 98 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in their 20 overs. India's Ayushi took 4 wickets while Parunika bagged 2. Meanwhile, Bangladesh women beat Nepal by 9 wickets in the other Super 4 match. Indian women's cricket team and West Indies women's cricket team arrived in Vadodara, Gujarat ahead of their first ODI match on Sunday. The 3-match series is part of the ICC Women's Championship and will be played at the Kotambi Stadium in Gujarat. The Indian team head into the ODI series high on confidence after registering a 2-1 series win over West Indies in the recently concluded 3-match T20 international series. On the other hand, the West Indies will aim to bounce back in the ODI series, which will carry crucial points for the ongoing ICC Women's Championship. As the cold air seeps in and the holiday hymns turn into Christmas carols and cheers, it's time for the shortest day to commence, known as the winter solstice, a celestial event when the northern hemisphere is tilted the farthest from the sun with an axial tilt of about 23.5 degrees in the most indirect angle, creating shorter daylight hours and colder weather. Here's what you need to know about winter solstice 2024.
21st December is the shortest day of the year.
Not just that, it is also the longest night of the year. And this day represents the winter solstice. But did you know what is the winter solstice? Let's find out more about this day in this video.
In simple words, the winter solstice marks the beginning of winter in the northern hemisphere.
The winter solstice is the celestial event when the northern hemisphere is tilted the farthest from the sun with an axial tilt of about 23.5 degrees.
Due to this tilt, the sun's rays strike the northern hemisphere at the most indirect angle, creating shorter daylight hours and colder weather. While the solstice can sometimes occur between December 20 to 23, December 21 is the most common date. This day has a lot of significance in ancient traditions. Traditional winter festivals like Yule and Hanukkah trace their roots to the winter solstice.
So even if December 21 feels dark, don't worry, because it's the starting of brighter days ahead.
Promoting the Ran Utsav in Gujarat's Kutch, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi urged everyone to experience the ongoing festival. The celebratory festival began in the Bhuj city of the Indian western state of Gujarat on the 1st of December and goes up to the 28th of February 2025.
कच्छ की समृद्ध परंपरा और संस्कृति, विश्व स्तरीय पर्यटन सुविधाएं, इन सब का संगम है ये महोत्सव, रणोत्सव.
In a post on X, PM Modi wrote, "Kutch awaits you all. Come discover the pristine white Ran, the spectacular culture and warm hospitality of Kutch during the ongoing Ran Utsav. The festival, which goes on till March 2025, promises to be an unforgettable experience for you and your family."
वॉल्वो बस की सुविधाएं, तो आइए और अनुभव करिए सफेद रण का ये अद्भुत महोत्सव, रणोत्सव.
That's all in this edition of DD India Live. But before we go, here's a quick reminder. India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched Waves, entering the field of OTT platforms. Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to digital media and OTT audiences. If you also want great content for free, then download Waves today. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. This is Munmun Bhattacharya. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.